to warm. It's just been perfect. So, look who's back. It's Will Darkins, everybody.
What's going on,
Hey,
man?
first of all, how are you? Everything okay?
Oh,
Were you
yeah.
sick? What's going on?
Well, I was sick. I got the kid flu, and then my voice got destroyed, and it was amazing timing, as of course we had the show, but then also our boss's going away party was that day, and so I said, "You really don't want me there," and I caught coffee with them later in the week.
There you go.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling better.
Well, that's good.
Right. And then I went to a Mariner game the next week. So
of course you did.
Yeah, and that was pretty good. I'll tell you what, that stadium's awesome.
It is. It's a gem.
Yeah.
I get every time I go up to Seattle for something, whether it's that, a Seahawks game, I'm just jealous. It's like, why can't we have those nice things here in Portland?
Oh, we can't.
And
we won't.
I know. You just get, you're just jealous.
Yeah, well.
You don't want to live in Seattle, but you're like.
Well, now, if the lotto hit, I wouldn't mind living in Bellevue.
Oh, no question. If you had the means.
Oh, yeah,
of course.
Yeah, if I hit the lotto.
But if you had to have a regular grinded out work-a-day week job life, no.
Yeah, we've been to Seattle obviously a lot, but then we went to Bellevue for the first time and just like walked around.
Oh, Bellevue, Kirkland. If you could afford to live on that side of the lake,
dude, it is like a movie set.
Life's great.
Yeah, it is what like movies typically depict, like the idyllic suburban lifestyle. Like everything absolutely clean, everyone looking thin and in good shape.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're out paddleboarding or kayaking in the river or the lake every day.
Pretty much everybody from Amazon, Microsoft, and U.S. Bank just live there.
Boeing.
And Boeing,
Don't forget all the Boeing people.
And Expedia. I learned that.
Oh, are they up there now? Yeah. I think, wasn't that a Microsoft spinoff? I think Microsoft started it and then it spun off from them or something. Yeah. If memory serves, way back in the day when I actually used to live up in that area after college.
The sound.
Yeah.
What years were those? Were you there in the 90s?
I was there from 89 to 93 at the University of Puget Sound. Then a few more years after when we found, just getting your first jobs, those sorts of things.
My man, you were there in the heat of Seattle uprising.
What uprising?
Well, I guess just on the up. I mean, that was when, like...
It was great. I was there during the heyday of the Sonics. I was there when the Mariners made their run. We'd go to the Kingdom and sit in the, boneyard watching Buhner in 95. And so, yeah, it was a fun time. Not my music scene, but yes, I was there for all of it.
Not your music scene?
No.
So you were at the place of the origination of a genre of music with one of the greatest bands of all time, but...
It wasn't me. No.
I would have at least had to have experienced it a bit.
Oh, well, you couldn't help but not. I mean, it was all over the place. If you wanted to go out, in your youth at any place that played music, that's where you were going.
Now, did you see Fraser Crane anywhere?
No.
Him walking around?
Didn't see Fraser Crane walking around.
Not Niles, none of them?
No.
Because that was shot in Seattle, right?
I don't think so. Oh. Maybe they came to do some outside scenes here and there, but I'm pretty sure that was on a lot somewhere. Okay. Anyway, but we digress. No, a very, very busy week of golf. The main tours are starting to gear up for their next majors as we get into PGA championships, U.S. Opens, those sorts of things. Coming up at 8:30 in the business of golf, very excited to talk to our guest, Mitch Lowe, who is now the director of golf instruction out at Glendevere Golf and Tennis Club. Spent a lot of his PGA professional career in the Bay Area where he grew up. Worked at some outstanding courses, Half Moon Bay Golf Club, Harding Park, but now has come to Glendevere. He also works with the PGA Hope Project, which we're going to get into today. Memorial Day later this month, and always means a lot for military families. But PGA Hope, which stands for Helping Our Patriots Everywhere, is a program through the golf professionals of the PGA they have a special memorandum of understanding with the Department of Veterans Affairs. And so golf being used as therapy for veterans once they are done, come back, trying to help for them to find things and ways to reintegrate into civilian society, as well as adaptive golf programs, all of those things. So we will talk to Mitch coming up. Find out about also he does, in addition to, traditional golf lessons, he's got a mental development program specifically for golfers that he likes to use. And oh, by the way, he's pretty good stick because he's qualified for the PGA Professional Senior Championship coming up in a few weeks later this month. So he can play a little bit too. So we will talk to Mitch coming up at 8:30 with all sorts of questions for him. The Oregon Ducks golf teams, both the men and women, have qualified for the NCAA regionals. The women are the top seed and host of the regional down in Arizona, Gold Canyon. That gets started on Monday, and the men will be the following week. They are the 5th seed in their regional. So we'll let you know how that works. And the regionals feed directly into the NCAA championships later this month. I believe they're down in Carlsbad, California again, the Omni Resort down there playing host to the NCAA. But the Duck women, they believe this is their chance, their year, coming off the Big Ten championship that they won. Kiara Romero is a top 5 ranked amateur in the country. Or in the world, I should say, won the Big Ten individual title. They think this is the year that they can finally win their team national title. They were runner-up in 2022, a semifinalist last year. So we'll get you all set for that. We'll talk a little bit, too, some Ryder Cup implications, a couple of names you need to be aware of for the American squad that could be playing their way into contention. There's a 17-year-old phenom who is rising up and very quickly could be on the PGA Tour. He decided to forego the whole college experience there, was winning at, the American Junior Golf Association, their top young player coming up. And so now decided to play his way. He is almost there to getting some Korn Ferry Tour status, but made some interesting decisions along the way. And wonder if we'll see more and more of this going forward in the years. The LPGA Tour just had their first major. And again, more foreign winners. Does this tour, does the women's professional golf, we talked last week about them desperately needing to get a commissioner in there. They're down to 2 finalists, both from the world of golf. They need to make a decision and get going because I feel like they are losing opportunities left and right to continue to develop their brand and get a bigger footprint in the game of golf. So all of that coming up here in the next hour, but let's start as we always do by going inside the ropes.
It's time for an insider's look at the leaderboards, the latest on all tours, plus local golf events and golf news. This is Inside the Ropes, part of Golf in the Northwest.
Couple of tournaments down in the Texas area this week. The Champions Tour is there, the Insperity Invitational, the Woodlands Country Club in the Woodlands, Texas, just outside of Houston. Mother Nature has not been kind down there. We know the Chevron Championship on the LPGA Tour, their first major, was hampered by weather conditions. The PGA Tour playing in North Texas this week. Lightning, rains, thunderstorms causing slow play, so they're having to finish up the first round this morning. There was a massive log jam at 4 under when they stopped play yesterday, including Mike Weir, Y.E. Yang, Ernie Els, Billy Andrade, Tongjae Chai-Di. But right now, Mike Weir, the Canadian, is at 7 under. And he's got a 2-shot lead over Billy Andre, Dickie Pride, and Tongjae Chai-Di of Thailand. Billy Mayfair there at 4 under. So the big news, though, for them, and Sperry, this has been one of their regular tour stops over the years, and they announced beforehand that they will continue with Insperity on as the title sponsor in the Houston area through 2030. So you're starting to see some tournaments here start to lock up some sponsors for the medium future, but some stability there on the tours. Korn Ferry Tour this week is down in Mexico, They are playing the Tulum Championship, PGA Riviera Maya, 7,272 yards, a par 72. And you have a four-way tie for the lead after the second round, 6 under par. Davis Chatfield, Shad Tootin, Bryson Nimmer, and Zach Bochow, all looking for their first Korn Ferry Tour wins of the season. Now, Chatfield is number 10 on the current points list. All of the other players are a little further back. They desperately need a win to get into the top 20, which will secure a PGA Tour card for next season. But Chatfield, this is the 5th time he's been had a share or sole possession of the lead after 36 holes, but he has yet to turn it into a win. Finished second in Chile after leading after round 1. He had a top 10 in the Bahamas at the season start, finished 7th there. So Davis Chatfield is the one player trying to get in, see if they can get the first win of the season. And so we will be keeping an eye on that as it's down to 20 this year. All the changes coming to the PGA Tour next year, reduced fields. They're shortening the list of players that keep their tour cards from 125 to 100. So they're shrinking the fields, and that means only 20 Korn Ferry Tour players will get to a PGA Tour card next year. So we will continue to document those a little bit more as the season goes on. But the leaders getting underway this morning in the 9 o'clock hour. LPGA Tour is in Utah, Evans, Utah, for the Black Desert Championship, presented by Greater Zion Black Desert Resort down there in southern Utah. Haran Yu of Korea at 14 under par has a 2-shot lead over Somi Lee, Esther Heinzlet, and Sinbin Ju at 11 under par. I think looking for well-known names atop the leaderboard. Arya Jaitanagard of Thailand is there, tied for 5th at 10 under. There are only 2 Americans in the top 20, Kristen Gilman and Andrea Lee. Andrea Lee winning the Portland event here back in 2022. And that seems to be kind of the big question this year. Nelly Korda has yet to win after her amazing season a year ago. Danielle Kang had to withdraw due to illness. Some of the familiar names just not there. You have Lexi Thompson, who's not playing a full season anymore. Who are the young up-and-coming stars? Because this is more and more of a international tour, and some of the top American names that we're used to seeing not there on the leaderboard. Of course, last week, the first major of the season, and it was won by
Did you want me to answer?
Yeah, you know. Mio Sago winning it of Japan. So it's her first LPGA Tour win. She was the Rookie of the Year last year. Is the now 5th major champion from Japan on tour. So her first career victory. And the 4th first-time winner this season on tour. We only had 2 American winners so far on the LPGA Tour. And so, you're wondering, it seems like with the PGA Tour and the LIV and their split and all of those sorts of things, it would seem like there's a platform for the LPGA to continue to try to seize it, and yet they just can't find some footing. They need a commissioner in place to try and get them on a path to being more relevant, I think, for golf, because the quality of golf is amazing. For those that look to go out and take it in, but sometimes it's just hard to find. And we talked last week about the fact that the PGA Tour actually controls their media rights. The LPGA Tour does not control them on their own. And so the PGA Tour will look to work them in where they can. We'll see if they can negotiate a buyout maybe, because I think that contract is through 2030. And so we'll have to see how that goes. PGA Tour, playing one of their oldest running tours, the Byron Nelson, now sponsored by CJ Cup, TPC Craig Ranch in McKinney, Texas, just outside the Metroplex. And Scotty Scheffler, a 10 under 61 in round one. And then yesterday, he parred the first 8 holes. Eagles his 9th hole. He played the back 9 first. Then there was a massive weather delay. Dumps of rain, lightning, goes out. Greens could not be softer. And he went flag hunting, 18 under par. But most of the afternoon wave did not complete their round. In fact, some of them didn't even get started. So they are finishing up round 2 this morning. Lowest round on the course is Kurt Kitayama. He's only at 10 under par. So Scheffler, who has yet to win this season, has a 6-shot lead over Sam Stevens, 7 shots over Ricky Castillo. Looks like, well, Rasmus Højgaard is out there. He's making the turn, so that's one of the last groups on the course. So they will have third-round play starting around 1 o'clock this afternoon. They will use both tees, play in threesome, see if they can get caught up today. You'll get coverage on Golf Channel coming up at 10 a.m. this morning, ESPN Plus with the early round coverage, and then CBS will pick things up. And they will pick up around noon this afternoon for third-round coverage. So we'll see if they can get caught up. But if nobody can go low and get close to Scotty Scheffler, he should have a huge advantage. So the fact, again, sometimes there's just dumb luck with golf and the weather and what happens, and he took advantage of it. But he looks like a guy knows that he hasn't won yet. All the hype around Rory, that has stoked his competitive juices. Justin Thomas getting a win a couple of weeks ago. Last week at the team event, you had 2 guys who have been playing great get their first victories. Andrew Novak, Ben Griffin teaming up. They win, holding off the Højgaard brothers by a stroke at 28 under par, winning in New Orleans. So they are now both get their 2-year exemptions, get their first victories. And Novak's been playing great. He was in the hunt there at the RBC, went into a playoff there, lost to Justin Thomas. So he has been playing great. We'll talk about him, potential Ryder Cup, another big hitter, as they will be playing Bethpage Black coming up in late September. The Højgaard brothers, if I am looking at them on the European Ryder Cup team, they seem like locks if they don't qualify by points. I'm bringing both of them on. That is a team that will be just a juggernaut to deal with for the American squad. Ryder Cup is going to be amazing this year. So we'll give you an update on the points list there as they get set. But this is now Scotty Scheffler. If nobody goes low on the back 9 here of this event, it's his tournament to lose, and he is as good a front runner as we have seen since Tiger Woods. When he puts it out there, he's striking the ball. His hand injury looks like it's all healed up. He looks to be back to the Scotty Scheffler that won seemingly every other week last year on tour and was the runaway player of the year. And he definitely wants to get into the mix as the majors start to come up. 2 weeks, we will be at Quail Hollow. Should be great. Justin Thomas won a PGA championship there. Rory McIlroy, who won the Masters, he's won 4 times at Quail Hollow on the PGA Tour. Scotty Scheffler, if he can get a victory going, should be a lot of fun in a couple of weeks in Charlotte. So that's what's going on throughout the tours. Golf Channel is going to be covering most of this. ESPN Plus has early round coverage. For the LPGA event, they will get coverage later today. It's going to be on CNBC from 2 to 6 this afternoon. There is where you can find coverage. And then Golf Channel will have it on Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. Pacific as they are in Utah there. So they'll get the late afternoon coverage being the furthermost west. When we come back, if you haven't heard this name, Blades Brown, 17-year-old phenom, interesting story, interesting decisions that he has made. and we'll look at the Ryder Cup's rankings as well. Mitch Lowe going to join us from Glendoveer coming up at 8:30. This is Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card?
Here with you, 8:22. We are going to go to Glendoveer Golf and Tennis Club, and we are going to talk to Mitch Lowe, who's the director, newish director of instruction out there. Lots to discuss with him. The PGA Hope program, he's involved with that. How to properly train the mental aspects of your game for playing golf. And he is going to be playing in the Senior PGA Championships coming up later this month as well. So we'll do that. But I don't know if you know this name, Blades Brown, a 17-year-old. He decided to forego the college route to making his way into professional golf, decided to turn pro. Was a phenom there. At one point, the number one ranked player on the American Junior Golf Association Tour. And so he's gotten a few exemptions into events, both on the PGA Tour. He played down at the American Express in La Quinta. Didn't make the cut, but he did fire an 8 under 64 in round 2. So he certainly has the talent and the game. But seems to be one of those players that has some good perspective. He's done some of the podcasts. He's been on with Colt Knost on their podcast Subpar, and really seems to have a good perspective in order to withstand the process out there and knowing how tough it's going to be and not having, just this immediate round of success, understands where his game is, but got a couple exemptions on the Korn Ferry Tour recently, and he had one going into the Byron Nelson at the CJ Cup this week, but last week at the Veritex Bank Championship, he was able to finish tied for 2, and that has vaulted him up the Korn Ferry Tour points list. And so he is 53 points away from getting special temporary status, and that could be big because if he can get that in a couple of weeks when they do their reshuffle, and this is all insider golf stuff that most people don't pay attention to, but for the players, they pay very, very close attention to this. But it could give him status on the Korn Ferry Tour and help to start him working his way up. If those points count and he can get status, he'd be in the 40s area where a win could push him up there. But he has shot some of the lowest rounds by somebody on the PGA Tour under the age of 18 in the last 40 years. He is doing some Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson likes things, trying to earn a PGA Tour card, and will be very, very interesting to see. But you like the decision, and I think it's a decision where you would think, oh, let's just go play in the PGA Tour. let's get out there and chance if I finish, I can make some money, all of those sorts of things. But he's approaching this in a way where you understand he is looking at this as a career. He wants to make this as a career, going through the process. The Korn Ferry Tour, it's stress in a different way. There's not the spotlight on it, but you have to go out and you have to go low every week in terms of the money. You're only going to make money if you finish in the top 10 of a Korn Ferry Tour event. So in order to pay for your expenses, make some money, give your caddy a little something, you have to go low. They are usually birdie fests, but he shot rounds of 61, 66, 67, 63 at the Veritex Bank Championship last week. Your ability to be consistent on a regular basis. The nice thing is you don't have massive crowds out there. You're usually kind of tucked away in some different spots. So you can really work, hone in on, and with your support team around you. And I think going this route is more likely to earn him a PGA Tour card earlier than trying to go for the big swings, maybe Monday qualify. And it'll be interesting to see how he is going to fare if he goes this route. So I would, that is a name to continue to look out for and be aware on the Korn Ferry Tour. Blades Brown at 17, and it's gonna be interesting to see if he goes there and the way that young golfers are training, all of the opportunities they have to play on tours, play PGA type of championship courses. If we are going to see more players just choose to go this route, they can, if they want a college degree, they can go online, they can do courses, they can do all that in their off time. Sometimes that might help to have a nice balance so they're not burned out. We've seen this. Ty Tryon, I think a couple of decades ago, tried to do this, tried to go pro. Even on the women's tour, Michelle Wie. Whereas more and more women, I think, are going the college route as we're seeing them develop some names. We saw Ingrid Lingblad, who decided to stay all 4 years at LSU, had a decorated amateur career. They have the opportunity to go play Augusta National as an amateur. I think that's attractive to a lot of players to get that experience. There's more attractive ways on an amateur basis for the women to go than maybe the men. College golf does continue to get stronger, but I think we're going to see more guys. If they show talent early on, they are dominant. They are a top 10, 20 player. You have the PGA Americas Tour now down in Latin America and Canada. If they can get some sponsorship and some backing early on, I think you're going to find more guys doing this, and it'll be interesting to see if the PGA starts to have more programs to help develop top American young players and provide them with good stability to make their way to the PGA Tour. We'll see. It'll be interesting. It's an interesting case study at this point where professional golf is at. So keep an eye on Blades Brown. When we come back, we are going to head out to Glendoveer. Mitch Lowe is the director of instruction, coming to the Pacific Northwest recently after a long career as a PGA instructor and professional down in the Bay Area. We're going to talk about the PGA Hope program, working with veterans using golf as a part of their therapy to reacquaint themselves with civilian life, all of the programs available to them, as well as mental training, mental instruction for those that take the game seriously, whether you're professional, whether you're a junior, whether you're an avid amateur, whatever the case may be, and find out, too, about keeping his game in shape and playing in the PGA Senior coming up here in a few weeks. Mitch Lowe, as we make the turn, it's Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
I believe you deserve to be able to trust in your lawyer.
in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
8:31 here this morning. Golf of the Northwest. We are reaching out to Mitch. Oh, not finding Mitch. We'll see if we can hunt him down here in just a moment. Coming up, following us, it'll be Sinner and Saint at 9 o'clock this morning. And then we have Game 7 action for you in the NBA playoff, both today and tomorrow. So this evening, it will be Nuggets-Clippers. That'll be at 4 o'clock, coming to you, Game 7 from Denver. And then tomorrow, 5 o'clock, it will be Game 7 between the Warriors and the Rockets from Houston. So that should be fun. Special treat for you over on 910 at 4:30 today. It'll be Game 7, some Stanley Cup playoffs for you. That will be the Avalanche and the Stars. So sports fans in Denver on pins and needles today. But we have found him out there at Glendoveer, the director of instruction at Glendoveer, coming up from the San Francisco area. He's had time at Half Moon Bay Golf Club, TPC Harding Park, so some great courses that he worked at growing up in his professional career in the Bay Area. Mitch Lowe. Good morning, Mitch. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Jason. Thanks for having me on.
Well, first of all, you worked most of your professional career in golf in the Bay Area. What was that experience like there as a PGA professional, as well as spending some time as a head golf coach there at the collegiate level? And then what was it about Glendoveer and coming up to the Pacific Northwest that appealed to you?
Well, that's a long story. How long do you have?
We got 20 minutes. Take your time.
Okay. All right. Good. Grew up in Boise, Idaho. Actually went to school in Northern California, and then spent a lot of time in the Bay Area, which was cool. I mean, completely different environment from what I grew up in, but really learned to love the Bay Area. TPC Harding Park was phenomenal. Great golf course. And so, funny thing, during COVID, I got remarried. We decided to have a family, and we thought Portland is a much better place than in San Francisco or Oakland to raise a family. So we made the move up here, and Kevin Niesner, who's the general manager out here at Glendoveer, he and I worked together some at Half Moon Bay, and so it was just kind of a natural fit. And so came up here and brought my teaching.
Whoop.
And now we're here.
Fantastic. And Glendoveer is, for those that haven't been out there, it's one of the it's a municipal gem in a city. And these are becoming, more and more rare as you go around, and affordable, but it's a complete municipal facility with 2 18s, practice areas, great instruction, and a really fun course. How have you enjoyed that experience with Glendoveer?
Well, it's so cool because you're right. It's 36 holes. We have, the east and west side, completely kind of different golf courses, but, it's kind of the old school tree line, big trees, good greens. You have to be accurate, and a pretty good practice facility now. We just put Top Tracer in on the range. So we have really cool effects there. So I just, this environment up here, it's so different than obviously the San Francisco city, but man, it's so gorgeous, and especially as the temperature and the weather starts to turn. I don't know if there's a better place to be. No,
this is one of the best springs we have enjoyed in quite some time here in the Pacific Northwest. One of the reasons we wanted to talk to you today is as we start to look to Memorial Day, military families, all kind of, it means something different to them. It's not just a 3-day weekend. You are involved in the PGA Hope program that is helping our Patriots everywhere. And the PGA Tour works directly with the Departments of Veterans Affairs, using golf as a program and to develop, help veterans transition back to civilian life. For those that aren't familiar with the program, just kind of what's all involved there.
Yeah, it's really, really very cool program. I got involved with it last year. We ran a couple different sessions. We're doing it again this summer. We're in the middle of a session, 6-week session right now. So it's a program where it's available to all the veterans. It's a free program. We do an hour and a half each Saturday for 6 weeks, and the veterans just come out. We hit some balls, and we go on. Today we're going to go out on the golf course and play 9 holes. And it's a way of getting veterans kind of involved back. I don't know if back into society, but back, having something to do. Some of the people that come out play golf regularly. Some have never played at all. And to see how, we have 15 people coming out today, and it's just, in a matter of 15, 20 minutes, how all of a sudden they start to kind of have this common bond and be able to communicate with each other and create new friendships and bonds. And I mean, I wasn't sure going into it last year what it would be like, and it's just an absolutely fantastic program, and I look forward to it every week. And I've made some good friends that I see out here on the golf course all the time now, and they're just so passionate about it.
Well, and for PGA professionals that get involved with it, what was unique about it, or what did you have to learn or adjust in how you approach golf and instruction with them to be able to, really be effective and to develop that bond with them, bring them out of their shells a little bit?
Yeah, there is. We do have to go through a training program before we start the sessions, and it's just awareness of kind of the things that they may have gone through. I don't come from a military background. I don't have family that's been in there, so I don't have that knowledge of the experience. So through the training programs, you hear, what people may have been through physically or psychologically, and so it's just, I don't want to delve deep into what that stuff is. I'm here if somebody wants to talk about it. But man, we're here to play golf and get out in nature and have some fun and kind of communicate and create some great bonds with each other.
No question.
And so it's not trying to get any too deep into it, but there are some things you kind of have to, be aware of.
And then also we know, I think, with the USGA, they've got the adaptive now golf national championships, those sorts of things. Yeah. And so those that have suffered significant, injuries, wounds in there, that's also part of it too. It's one of the things that for veterans that have suffered those types of injuries, it is something that is normalized in society for them to be able to participate in.
Yeah, and I think it gets overlooked a little bit. I mean, I think kind of the natural thought is, okay, golf course, and it's, you're out having to walk all this way, and so it might be limiting for some people and some veterans that have gone through some different wartime injuries. But it's not. I mean, it's everybody can come out here. There's special carts and different ways of we make it accessible to everybody that wants to come out. And that's kind of the whole idea. Is it's more of just being out here and trying to hit a little ball into a hole, and kind of enjoy doing that.
Oh, exactly. Well, some of us enjoy it more than others. Some days are more enjoyable than others too. Mitch Lowe is our guest, the director of instruction out at Glendoveer, out there in East Portland. One of the other things that you focus on, and this kind of goes along probably why you had an easy transition into the PGA Hope program. You also lead mental performance training clinics with golfers, training the mental aspect of the game. We understand, you hear all about that at the top professional levels. But what are some of the things for just kind of the avid amateur golfers, guys that are out there with, wanting to play on the weekends or their local men's club, women's club, whatever? What are some of those aspects, key portions, key tenets of training the mental game specifically for golf?
Yeah, I think it goes, I kind of got into it because of my past playing experience, and then also working with some different players. And there always seemed to be this block of, why is it so easy to hit the ball okay on the driving range and then get on the golf course and just not have any feel at all, or have a great front nine and then just completely lose it on the back nine. It's the same person. It's only a couple minutes difference, and yet the game can feel completely different. And I think we've gotten so used to trying to work on just physical skills, like, my swing is just not good enough. But there's something that wasn't quite there. And so I, a couple of years ago, started delving into it a little deeper and started a business of mental performance coaching. And so it can go all facets. You don't have to be a top player to do it. It's recreational player, but everybody knows what the first tee jitters feel like. They know what it feels like to stand over a 3-foot putt and not want to look bad by missing it. So there's just some different techniques now to kind of train, and it's not super difficult to do. It does take a little bit of dedication and time, but it's no different than going and hitting a few balls, and you practice it, 10, 15 minutes a couple times a week, and you can start to get yourself back into like a present moment, not thinking too far in the future, not too far in the past. And it just does. And, Jason, it revolves around golf, a lot of what I do with the mental performance, but it transitions so much into everyday life. It's so easy to start worrying about too much in the future and too much in the past, and worry and anxiety and all that stuff. And there's just some simple techniques to get you back in the present moment, to concentrate on where you're at and access, whatever skills you have.
And I'm curious too about the link of the mental then marrying to the physical, and obviously if you want to, not to give away too much, but how much does some simple mental gymnastics or whatever you're doing, clarifications, just lead to then the consistent physical performance?
There's no other way to do it, right? So you can't outperform your physical level, right? So, working on all of, chipping and putting and driving the ball, that still is super, super important. But having the right mental framework to be able to access those skills when you're feeling pressure, whether it's standing on the first tee or it's, you're trying to beat your buddies, or you have a really good round going. The only way then to be able to perform whatever great swing you have is to have the right mental framework, right? The best mental mindset at that time. So it's trying to it's hard to explain because it's not the same for everybody. But there are some very easy techniques. I've partnered with Rick Sessinghaus, who's Colin Morikawa's long-time coach, with a product called Flow Code, and so it's just a way to practice this stuff. It kind of holds you accountable a little bit, a few minutes a day, and it's so much easier. Number one, it's easier to perform when you need to, but it brings so much more kind of joy back into the game. Like it's fun again, right? You're not so caught up in, oh my God, I just missed a putt and now my whole day's ruined and all of this. And it's like, no, it's all part of it and it's all good. And it, I've been really working on it for the last couple of years, probably a year and a half in it. And I can't tell you how much more fun the game is, how much better I'm playing. I had one of my best years playing last summer, and I have 2 little babies at home. It's not like I'm practicing at times. but it's really kind of the clarity and being able to play good golf, play to my level, whatever that is.
Well, and
really, and enjoying it.
Yeah, you practice what you preach because you qualified to play in the Senior PGA Championship. You're heading out here shortly to Congressional, one of the all-time courses out there in the district, as it were. How did that process go? Obviously, the professionals, and we just saw for the PGA Championship in a couple of weeks, they just had the PGA Professionals Championship. We're going to get inducted or inundated with Michael Block again for those that are. He was one of the 20 that qualified, but the Senior PGA Championship has that. Have you ever played Congressional before? How excited are you to go out there and go at some of the legends of the game?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Congressional. I've heard so much about it. No, I haven't played it yet, but that'll be a treat. I've been fortunate enough to play in 4 other PGA championships, but this will be my first Senior PGA. And everybody says, "Well, no problem. These guys are old. You can beat them." I'm like, look. I didn't beat them 20 years ago. They're still really good. So I'm going to, just enjoy the process. I'm going to play. Again, this is one of the reasons the mental performance stuff got so important to me, because I have been fortunate enough to play in some of these bigger events, and it was so frustrating to me to leave that week, not having a good time. Like, so stressed out and thinking I had to be perfect to play with these great players. And what should have been, really fun, enjoyable weeks were not. And it's like, that just isn't the way to play golf. So it's going to be a totally different framework. Doesn't guarantee I'm going to play great or not, but I am going to play Mitch Lowe golf and really enjoy it.
Well, we all wish you the best of luck. Maybe we'll have to catch up with you when you get back to just see what the experience was like. For those that are curious about learning more about the PGA Hope programs, whether it's with you or in the area, what's the best way to go about finding out about those? Yeah,
you can go on to the Pacific Northwest PGA website. Angela Hipster. I'm not saying her last name right, but she takes all the registrations for that, and that's the best way to go about. You could probably just go on the PGA Hope website as well, and find the courses that are in your area, and then come out. I highly recommend it for everybody. It's really a good time. I love doing it, and it's wonderful.
And for those interested in contacting you directly for any sort of instruction, whether it's traditional instruction, the mental performance training clinics, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, all my information's on the playglendevere.com website, and that's the best place to go do that. Or you give out a phone number is easy as well, if that works.
Oh, you bet. No, playglendevere.com. You can find out everything's there. You can read about Mitch, all the instruction. So head there, and it's pgareach.org/PGA Hope to get all the information on the PGA Hope programs and can direct you to a course near you. Mitch Lowe, Director of Instruction at Glendevere Golf Course, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Best of luck later this month out of Congressional. We'll be keeping an eye on that, and hopefully you're playing on the weekend. We thank you so much and look forward to catching up with you down the road.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it.
There you go, Mitch Lowe, Director of Instruction out at Glendevere Golf Course. So the PGA Hope programs, they have a direct link to the Department of Veterans Affairs, so they can do direct referrals for PGA Hope programs. It's a form of therapy. So if you are active duty military, a veteran, you have a veteran in your family looking for something to do to help them just feel normal. whatever normal is for them. It's a great program. And again, PGA professionals that are working with them on the game itself and special instruction there. Thanks to Mitch, and we wish him the best of luck. We'll come back with some final thoughts. We'll look at the Ryder Cup standings. The NCAA Golf Regionals getting set to go next week, so we'll preview those for you as well. It's Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.